Out of every 100 Americans who pulled a Bible off a shelf today, 55 of them pulled down a King James Version. I feel fairly safe in saying that the King James is the only 1611 release still on any bestseller lists. All the same, 55% is only slightly more than half, and the trend line is clear, for it started near 100%. The English-speaking Christian church, which was once almost completely unified in using the King James Version, is no longer unified around a particular Bible translation. Why? Because people say they can no longer understand it. I grew up reading and hearing the KJV, and I don't recall having any trouble with the verbiage. I don't remember ever being baffled by, "We had been as Sodoma," Romans 9:29, or "Let him that glorieth glory in this," Jeremiah 9:24. Early on, I felt a sufficient mastery of Elizabethan diction not only to read it, but to speak it. I even remember as a third grader asking my beloved teacher, Mrs. Page, if we could all use King James English for a day. She said yes, but it never happened. Little kids remember these things. Somehow, toddlers managed to learn this style of speech in a time before not just antibiotics, but Sesame Street. But there are people, many people, who insist that KJV English is too difficult. Many of them, in turn, have already jettisoned the KJV. The 55% who have held on to it do so for various reasons: habit, conviction, or merely a loyalty and love that we quite naturally attach to things we value. So, though I didn't know it as a third grader, I was growing up at the tail end of a remarkable period for English Bible translation, a period the likes of which we may never see again, a period in which one Bible version not only dominated church worship, theological writing, and personal devotion, but even became a touchstone for English-speaking culture at large. Even now, KJV phrases show up in New York Times headlines on a regular basis. Culturally literate people who have never cracked open a Bible are sometimes surprised, upon finally doing so, to discover many famous phrases of whose provenance they were hitherto ignorant. For example, "By the skin of his teeth," "Am I my brother's keeper?" "He doesn't suffer fools gladly," "It was a labor of love," "Cleanliness is next to godliness." Oh, wait, that last one's from Shakespeare, or was it Ben Franklin? But if fewer and fewer English speakers open the KJV, its famous phrases seem likely to fall out the back of the language. English Bible translation. People care about KJV English because people care about English and they care about Bible translation. The most popular blog posts I write are about English Bibles. These posts always get social shares and comments because everybody has an opinion on whether translations should be formal, sometimes summarized as word for word, or functional, sometimes summarized as thought for thought. Everybody has a passage in this or that translation that they love or that they object to. Everybody has a favorite English Bible translation or is on the hunt for one. Which Bible translation is best has a lot of search engine value, I can tell you. People want to know because they care. And that's why the transition away from the King James Version has been the scene of some confusion and even conflict within the church. Christians collide over sometimes minute questions of English style, the gender of pronouns, Greek New Testament manuscripts, and even Bible typography. And I'm not necessarily saying they should stop. This is the Word of God we're talking about after all. People should care. What do we do? Pastors and other church leaders provide important guidance when it comes to Bible translations, but ultimately, the presses will print what the regular Bible reading public wants. That's why it's so important that the people in the pews, like I am, twice every Sunday and once each Wednesday, want what's truly best for ourselves and for our children. Authorized, the use and misuse of the King James Bible is for the regular English-speaking Bible reading public. It contains no Greek or Hebrew words. It focuses entirely on English. This beyond influential translation, this authorized version, has been and is both used and misused. We need to discover its proper place. So, what do we do with the KJV? Teach people to read it? Revise it? Chuck it? No, and no. Listen on.